for you, and robots are going to be working for us, persons or human beings. So if we have somebody working for us, that's great. I mean, we still are going to be producing products. We're going to still be producing wealth through the robots. And I can dedicate myself to hire more sophisticated, more self-fulfillment of things to do. So the thing is, should we all be worried about what's coming and be frightened of that future? Or, as you said, technology on one side, this blend of part automatization and part is the added work to produce. Give us your final view, the future. What is the message for people here in Mexico, for people in the United States in relation to labor, to work, to entrepreneurship?
So the scenario that you described of robots doing the jobs for you and you get to work on higher purpose stuff, I think that's an ideal scenario. But what happens when the robot breaks down? What happens if you have a farm that has a lot of automated tractors and robots and stuff like that, and those things break down or somebody hacks them? What's going to happen to your farm? I mean, you still need to know how to be able to do these things. So, you know, there's a whole other issue. We paint this sort of utopian picture around, you know, robots are going to work for us. You're going to do all these wonderful things that you want to do. But anybody that uses technology now knows that technology always breaks. There are always hacks. There's always security issues. And what's going to happen in a world when we rely so much on technology? It's kind of a scary thing to think about, actually, because you rely so much on a screen, so much on code, so much on software, that you kind of lose sight of what reality is. Your reality is what you see on a screen. Your reality is the code that you interface with, that you interact with. And I think it's also a little scary for us to live in a world where we, you know, put so much emphasis on technology and forget about the human aspects. So in general, to get back to your question, I'd like to think that there's going to be a more optimistic future. I think we need to think of ourselves as working with technology instead of against it. And that is the best way to think about the future of work. It's not, I don't want to think about humans versus technology. I want to think about humans with technology. And I believe that as long as we have creativity, as long as we have imagination, as long as we have this drive to create, to build, that we will be able to come up and create things, to come up with new jobs and to create things for us to do. But that's a choice, right? So we need to consciously make that choice to create, to build, to design, to think outside the box. The second you become complacent, the second you give up, the second you say, you know, why bother? My job is going to be replaced anyway. That is the wrong mentality to have. That mentality will make sure that you get replaced. You can't have that mentality. Learn how to learn.
Now, that is clearly addressed to people, to individuals, to workers, to employees. Now, for the corporations, what would be your message? Companies, what should they be doing with human capital? What they should be preparing and building to the future in that respect?
In that situation, I think, and sort of the phrase I like to say is that every company in the world today can exist without technology, but no company in the world can exist without people. We have to remember that a lot of these technologies that we keep hearing about, AI, automation, robots, all of these things are built and created and designed by people. If your company still wants to exist in 20 years, in 50 years, if it wants to outlast the competition, you absolutely still need to invest in people. And I feel like a lot of companies are forgetting that. They're very focused on investing in technology, but if you have the best technology in the world and you don't have people at your company's going to struggle. So my big message and my big emphasis is technology is good, but people are better. Invest in the experiences of your people. We want to work for an organization where we feel like there are humans there. right? We're human beings. You have to build that kind of a company. So if you want to survive and exist and outlast the competition, you still need to put people as your #1 priority.